What's going on, everyone? Trav here with Chaotic Strategies, and this is TCG Talking Points. So today we're going to be going over how secondary market and main market affect other aspects of the TCG games, like mats, sleeves, top loaders, stuff like that. And then we're going to dive into Yu-Gi-Oh! For a little bit. We got new Blazing Vortex that came out, and we also have quite a few more sets that are supposed to be coming out this month into early spring, along with a potential ban list coming out within the next few weeks. So, jumping right into it, we've seen the massive boom with Pokemon. I've talked about that in the last Talking Points video. We have a pretty good boom going on with Yu-Gi-Oh! Since Blazing Vortex just released on February 5th of 2021. So we're seeing a nice spike there. But what a lot of people don't realize or take for granted is the effects of other parts of the TCG that these booms affect. So at the end of 2020, coming into early 2021, we had a hard time getting these guys right here, the 3x4 top loaders, whether they're from Ultra Pro or Cardboard Gold or whoever. There was a shortage of the top loaders because everybody's trying to get those and send those Pokemon cards into PSA. So we saw a massive shortage there. Me being a seller, I had a hard time getting those for a while. Those top loaders there for a few weeks, to almost a month, really. You know, all the cards that I sold, I had to sandwich between two pieces of cardboard, and I absolutely hated it. I think that's tacky. You know, I try to make sure every card that I send out is in a clear sleeve and in a top loader, whether it's a penny common card or, you know, a $40 to $100 card. I treat them all the same. That's me. That's how I operate. So, and that sucked. That really sucked. We also saw a shortage in regular clear sleeves as well. I mean, earlier, towards the end of 2020, Konami changed some tournament rulings. They came out and said, hey, you know what, we're going to let you guys double sleeve your cards again. And that just sent clear sleeves through the roof for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, yeah, you know what, we've got a lot of money invested into our playing decks. We want to make sure our cards are as protected as possible. I'm one of them. I'm a diehard Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. Same deal. I'm super excited that, you know, we're able to double sleeve our cards again, but at the same time, there was just a massive influx of ordering in order for everybody to get their cards double sleeved. So that's just, those are some of the things that we take for granted. You know, playmats too. Even though we're kind of in the middle of the pandemic, we don't have a whole lot going on as far as physical play yet. People are still buying up playmats left and right, especially with the boom in Pokemon, the boom in Yu-Gi-Oh! We've got old players getting back into it. We've got new players dropping money to get into these. It's just, you know, everything is just chaotic. Going back to the top loaders, I have seen a steady price increase going up with the top loaders, and I mean, I buy from everywhere, you know, whether they're private sellers on Mercari and TCG Player, I buy from Amazon, you know, just wherever I can get the best deals on my top loaders, because, you know, every card that I send out is going to be in a top loader, so I want to make sure that I've got the stock. But since probably October till now, I've seen a steady increase, depending on who I buy from, anywhere between, you know, $3 or $4 up to $10 difference based on quantity. So far my last set of top loaders that I bought off of Amazon because that was the best deal that I could find as of right now for those. So, you know, being a seller, you know, you want to make sure that you send everything out, you know, crisp and clean, and that's exactly what the customer wants. But at the same time, you got to do it, you know, on a budget that's not going to break the bank as well. So those are things, and I know I'm not the only one, even though I'm just a small time seller. You know, in the big card shops, you know they're buying top loaders in bulk, you know, because people are buying them off the shelves. That's what they want. And for the ones that are selling online as well, I'm pretty sure they're sending their cards in top loaders too. So, you know, especially going all over the world, it's crazy. With the Pokemon boom, the people buying top loaders to send into PSA. That's the other aspect of the secondary and main markets that, I mean, they affect that. They affect the grading process as well. With this, I mean, it's not just COVID that's affecting the long wait times from grading from PSA and these other grading companies, but this boom in Pokemon has just set them so far back. I think the last time I looked, you know, if you're just going with their regular grading package, they're like a year out on Pokemon. If you spent the extra money to get like their top tier grading package or whatever, You get it back in a month, maybe 2 months if you're lucky. It is insane right now, the wait times. They're having a hard time finding people to hire to grade the cards. They just don't have the facility. I think last I heard that they were building, 1 or 2 facilities, and I think they even have like a couple satellite companies that deal with them as well, just to kind of help the flow of cards. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So when we see booms like that through Pokemon and Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, they affect all these other aspects too that nobody really tends to think about until it's time to start purchasing these things. So I said, even on clear sleeves, I mean, your good sleeves like Dragon Guards and stuff like that, I have noticed prices have gone up on them because the demand is so high. Everybody wants them, so these companies are going to charge a little bit more, because what are you going to do? You're not going to buy them. You just pulled a $400 Charizard card out of a box. You're going to want to protect it. So yeah, you're going to spend that extra money to get it protected, especially if you're going to send it into PSA to get graded. You really want that protected. So, these are just all these aspects. So, the reason why I bring that up is just to have everybody keep that in mind, especially people who are trying to get in and make this a business or make this a career choice. You've got to look at all the little details when you're doing this stuff. And when I first started selling, I didn't really pay too much attention to that until I started having more orders coming through, and I did. Early on, I had some complaints because I wasn't sending them out, or, I didn't have them protected well enough as I was sending them out. So, learn by fire, pretty much, trial and error until I got it right. So those are a lot of aspects. Also, if you're getting into this, don't throw all your cards in one pile. Just don't do it, especially with PSA right now. I mean, if you're willing to wait a year to get a graded card back, that's fine. I, for one, am not. I'm just kind of sitting on my stash of cards that I want to get graded until everything comes down. And to me, it's just not worth it. That's not, as an investment, that's not a turnaround that I'm willing to do, because there's big risk there. And I'm sure PSA and these other grading companies have a fantastic system where chances are they're not going to lose their card, but there's always that if. They've got millions of cards coming to them worldwide that they're trying to sift through and get graded and get flipped out in a timely manner. The faster you go, the more stuff's going to get missed. And I just don't want to take that chance. So I'm just going to wait till everything dies down before I send mine in. That may not be an option for everybody, but I'm just cautious that way, and I don't want to take that chance. So, but at the same time, we're going to start seeing declines. Pokemon came out the other day, they're making more reprints. We're still getting fresh evolution packs, so a lot of stuff's still getting reprinted. I mean, they've still got their printers going full bore to meet demand, and they've got some older sets printing as well. So we're going to start seeing a drop, right? Because everybody wants these cards, so the more cards that are printed, the more the price drops. And that's not just for Pokemon, that's for every TCG and CCG card game that's out there. So with that being said, let's jump right on into Yu-Gi-Oh! So as I said at the beginning of the video, Blazing Vortex just dropped for Yu-Gi-Oh! February 5th, 2021. It's a phenomenal set. There's a lot of good cards in there, and the market, the secondary market in Yu-Gi-Oh! Has boomed up quite a bit. I mean, pre-sales were pretty high. There's a big demand for it, especially when the card list came out for what was in there. Everybody wanted their hands on it. So the pre-release was pretty high in the market. It has steadily come down, and a lot of the pre-release cards, the singles, were like way sky high. And of course, as demand gets met, those prices have dropped down now. But then now we're going to start to mellow out, and prices are going to stay about the same, which we see a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh! The prices really don't change on a lot of these newer sets too much until the ban list comes out, which for Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, we're expecting a ban list here in the next couple weeks. So depending on what gets hit, whether it's banned, semi-limited, limited, whatever, we're going to really start seeing some fluctuations around the market, which is typical around every ban list. That's how the game works. And Yu-Gi-Oh's just kind of one of those games that's unique. I mean, you see a little bit in Magic with competitive play, and same way with Pokemon, but not as much as in Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, the demand and everything does affect the main market and the secondary market with Yu-Gi-Oh! But the ban list really is what affects the prices of a lot of these newer cards. So we take Firewall Dragon, for instance. I think when it first came out, if I remember right, it was like between 30 and 50 bucks, I think, depending on, where you bought it from. And it held pretty steady for quite a while. It was a very sought after card, especially like in Trick Stars and stuff. It saw a lot of competitive play. So the demand for it was still pretty high for that Firewall Dragon. And then it got banned. And once it got banned, I mean, that price just dropped. I think right now you can pick up a Firewall for like $4, something like that. Saruja Skoldred was the same way. I mean, there for a while, I mean, it was, I think, like a $60 to $80 card. Then it got reprinted. That dropped the price. And I think now you can pick up a Saruja for a couple bucks. And that's the thing too, is that I don't think it was ever on the ban list as a limited or semi-limited, anything like that. It just got reprinted, and I mean, it severely dropped that card down. So it's just amazing to see, Yu-Gi-Oh! For what I've seen, and that's a majority of my sales is Yu-Gi-Oh! And I mean, that is like purely competitive driven. Yu-Gi-Oh's still one that you've got a lot of competitive play. I mean, yes, you still have competitive play with Pokemon. Yes, you have competitive play with Magic the Gathering. But a lot of guys from what I've seen with Magic, I mean, they're not really competitive players. They're, in your home just hanging out with friends, players. That's just kind of how Magic is. Pokemon is more on a collector's base from what I've seen. Yes, there are competitive players out there, but a majority of them are collectors. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just competitive driven from what I've seen. I mean, I think it's played more competitively than any of the other two games. Now, that's just my opinion, and it's probably a biased opinion because I'm a diehard Yu-Gi-Oh! Player myself. I played the other two, but I mostly play Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's amazing to me that a ban list would have such an effect on market prices, which like I said, we're going to see here in the next few weeks. And I bet you as soon as that ban list hits, we're going to start seeing just a roller coaster in the market until everything kind of levels back out. So a few other sets that's coming out from Konami from going till now, February 2021 into spring of 2021. We've got Freezing Chains, which is a structure deck. Expected to drop later on this month in February, which I'm pretty excited about. It's just a structure deck, so we're not going to see really, too many like really over the top cards. But I'm excited about it because it does bring back ice barriers. I highly doubt it's going to make ice barriers competitive, but I do like the archetype. They're a lot of fun to play. So we'll probably see like ice barriers come up a little bit in price, not very much, but we will see, I think, a small spike within the market for ice barrier based cards. Ghosts from the Past, expected to drop March 26th of 2021. This is a very highly anticipated set, so I think pre-release sales are going to be pretty high until that demand's met. Up until full-on release date, we'll start seeing some drop back down. I think there's like 136 cards in this set. They're bringing back 9 themes from some of the older sets, but then they've got 2 new themes added into that as well. So everybody's stoked about that. Downside is if they're going to bring back themes from the past, we're going to start seeing reprints. So we'll probably see some of those older cards drop in price as well. Since, they're going to get reprints, that's just kind of how that works. More cards in circulation drops the price. Unless, they're coming out with different rarities for these cards. It's hard to say, but I'm pretty sure we're going to start seeing a big boom, a spike in the market on a lot of the newer set cards coming out of that in March. Ancient Guardians, supposed to be dropping sometime spring 2021. Another highly anticipated set, along with Lightning Overdrive. Lightning Overdrive's coming out May 14th. I believe is the release date tentatively as of right now on that. And both Ancient Guardians and Lightning Overdrive are just a booster set. And nothing real too fantastic, but I think there's supposed to be some pretty good reprints in there. I think some ultra rares are supposed to be coming in one of those, if I remember right. Don't quote me on that because I haven't looked into them fully. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed TCG Talking Points. Remember, don't throw all your chips into one pot because you never know when it can change. If you are a collector or a buyer, seller, whatever, play it smart. Don't dump all your money into it because it can change like that. Hope you guys are being safe out there. We'll catch you in the next video.